Hi everyone, it is day 24 of your 30-day yoga challenge. And in today's practice, we restore. Through the practice of restorative yoga, we'll be looking at restoring our nervous system. Now, restorative yoga, the poses in restorative yoga are completely supported. So as you can see here, I've got several props. I have a blanket, a chair, a couple of blocks, a strap, and some cushions. I would like for you to gather, particularly with cushions, as many as you can, and a blanket will be great, especially if you don't have blocks. As far as the strap goes, you can grab a belt, and if you don't have something that's handy, don't worry about it. It's just something that we'll use towards the end of the practice. Do grab a chair. Now, with the poses that we'll come to, which will be held for several minutes at a time, just like we did in yin, but the only difference is that they will be completely supported so that we allow our body to essentially restore the nervous system. And unlike when we're sleeping, when our mind is unconscious, the physical body can actually still be tense. Whereas in the practice of restorative, our mind is awake and we're consciously letting the body relax. So we're building more of an internal awareness so that both body and breath can soften. And it's through these more conscious actions while in poses that are supported, we can drop in to a deeper feeling of relaxation that some of us may not get when we're sleeping. So let's go ahead and start directly in a downward facing dog. I'm going to set these cushions aside. And if you have a block, you're going to set the block so that it ends up underneath your forehead. Okay, you can most certainly do the same with a blanket. You're going to have to roll it up in such a way, or maybe stack the blanket and the cushions so they're on top of each other. And when you come to down dog, you're going to need to adjust those props so that the block ends up underneath your forehead. And so think of having the props just above the line of your eyebrows. As you start settling in, allowing the head to be heavy, and having your eyes closed. You can think of the center of your armpits hollowing. So imagine lifting the center part of the armpits away from the floor. Some of you may have heard that down dog is actually a resting pose. You may not necessarily agree, and I would understand. But in this position that we're in here, can you allow there to be a feeling of rest? Take one more long breath. Slowly bring your knees to the floor and then sit with your legs crossed. Sit up straight and tall. Let your eyes close. And just check in with how you feel here. A short pose, but enough to create a shift internally. See if you feel that shift. open your eyes. We're going to set up a supported bound angle pose with a gentle opening of the chest. So we're going to do this lying on our back. I'm going to take the blanket and open it up so that it's a little wider. And I'm going to roll it or fold it so that there's some girth. Then I'm going to place this towards the back of my mat, and I'm going to end up placing my upper back along it. Now, if you have blocks, you could certainly place one block underneath the head and create more of a T shape, like so. And the lower part of your ribs would end up just off of the edge of the block. Okay. So as you set that up, if you're already lying down, go ahead and join the soles of your feet together with the knees apart. And then using either the blocks or the cushions, I'll use the cushions here, and you're going to wedge them underneath your outer thighs. So it does not have to be a very intense opening for the groins and the inner thighs. Really take the support of the cushions or the blocks. Your arms, if you choose to have them alongside the body, more on an angle of maybe 45 degrees or so. You could also bring your arms out so they're in line with the shoulders. And if you have the blanket, maybe having the arms just above the line of the blanket. Toy around with what works for your body. And then as you start to find a relatively comfortable position, close your eyes. Be really deliberate about relaxing. And if you're not feeling enough support from the props, grab more. Maybe wedging them another cushion or another pillow underneath your outer thigh. And surrender now to the force of gravity. Feel the length of your limbs growing heavy. Across your forehead, be soft. For some of us, coming into these poses can be enough to quiet the mind. For those of you who still feel challenged by that, direct your attention to your breath. And feel that even your breathing is in the process of restoration. It's soft. Can you imagine that even the clothes that you're wearing are heavy? And beneath the weight of your clothes, your body relaxes even more. Feel that the weight of your clothes is soothing. We'll take about 1 more minute here, just shy of a minute. On the next exhalation, breathe out completely. And then inhale slow. Part your lips, exhale. Step your right foot flat on the mat, and then your left foot flat on the mat. And then take a moment of pause. You might even take the feet a little wider, letting the knees knock in. And then gently turn your head from left to right. Let's take our left arm over our ear and then roll onto our left side. You might need to move the prop that was underneath your back. You might need to move it aside, but just stay as you are and take another moment here. Let's push into the floor and sit up. All right, so this is our final pose. And if you don't have a chair, I really should have said you could just bring yourself towards the sofa. And what we're going to do here is place our legs on top of the chair. Now, as we do this, I want you to actually grab the blanket. And if the cushion is soft enough, so these are feathered cushions, so they actually flatten a bit. You can use that underneath your sacrum. Sorry about that. And then taking the legs so they're on the seat of the chair or the cushion. And if you do have the strap or a belt, all you're going to do is wrap it around your thighs and tie it. You're going to keep the thighs apart. The thighs are not together, just they're slightly apart. But tying them, because there's going to be some of us who are not able to keep the thighs too close. So this will just help to ensure the thighs stay fixed in place. Okay. Set yourselves up. If you've got the blanket nearby and you want to cover your chest, your arms, even the legs, that's a possibility. Do that. Once you're there, eyes are closed. Notice what you feel in your feet and calves. Notice any sensation in the thighs, in your pelvis. And as we stay here a little bit longer, not only letting your physical body be still, and still is a relative word, it's a very minimal movement, but also finding a stillness in your mind. Imagine those moments just before you go to sleep, just before you fall asleep. Stay conscious. See if you can really envision that deep restoration on a cellular level. And then guess what? It's the end of the practice. So check in with how you feel here. It's certainly nice to continue exactly as you are for another minute or two. I hope you feel the benefits of this practice. And I will see you tomorrow. Thanks again for joining.